Talk to me. 2020 was quite a ride for a lot of people, but you had your fight on Contender. You had a successful UFC debut. How would you sum up 2020 overall for yourself personally?
And it was definitely a roller coaster. It was a lot of ups and downs. But at the end of it, like at the end of it, for me, it was really great. I was able to, put all the years of the hard work of me finally putting into of me working and putting in the work into MMA, finally had paid off for me in 2020, and just for it to happen in spectacular fashion, like in the contenders, and then for my UFC debut, for it to happen like the way it did, man, I couldn't be any more happier. 2020 was a great year for me. Besides like the whole pandemic and everything going on, you know, a lot of craziness that happened, but the end of 2020 was a really good one for me.
I listened to you speak yesterday about how you've now been able to leave your full-time job and focus completely on MMA. When you're in that kind of position, does it create pressure? Because it's like, you know what, I need this to be successful now because I don't want to go back to that kind of grind. I mean, just talk to me a little bit about that because it is a big jump to say, hey, I'm going all in on a very tough business in mixed martial arts.
Oh yeah, man. My whole mentality has just been, man, just bet on yourself, man. I've kind of been big on that for these last couple of years, and that's exactly what I've been doing. I've been betting on myself and putting all the chips on my table, and just being like, you know what, me, I believe in myself. I know I can do this, and I'm gonna go out there and keep proving it. And for me, like being able to quit my full time job and be able to do MMA full time has been the biggest blessing to me. So 2020 also helped me in that way. Getting that knockout, like the first round knockout in my debut, and getting the bonus, like helped me like push even more to do what I truly love to do, and that's MMA. So to me, there's like absolutely no pressure because now this is a full time job for me. I have like it like I said it on the contenders. It's like, man, I've been doing this as a part time job. Let me do this as a full time job. So, my performance on the contenders is really good. And then look, you see my performance on my debut, and it was really good. And it was really good. Now I have a full time training camp, and now I feel more confident than ever. I feel like I'm gonna walk in there, and man, I feel like I'm gonna do some stuff that I'm in really excited to put on a show. Like that's my biggest thing because, man, like for the past like after my debut, like I was just doing MMA full time. My job, I quit my job like a week before fight week for October 31st. So like that was my last day working. So whenever I was able to do it full time, I was like, man, now I'm gonna reap the benefits of me paying like betting on myself. So it's not really more pressure. It's just me just doing what I do. Like I've been doing these past couple of years of betting on myself. That's exactly what I'm keep on doing.
I know he did have some words yesterday about not being impressed with the names that you'd fought, but he did tell us earlier he ran by you, I think at the PI. You guys had a little fist bump. Is there beef, or is it just about the confidence you have in yourself?
Oh no, it's just the confidence to have in myself, man. I expect for him to have the confidence within himself. Yeah, we did cross paths. It's just like he got off the bus from the shuttle coming from the PI, and then I was gonna get on the shuttle going too. It's like there's no animosity with me because at the end of the day, we both know we're gonna have to step in the cage and we're gonna go in there and fight. So for me, there's no ifs, ands, or buts whether we have beef or we don't. We can give each other a fist bump, man. I like even before, man. Like I said it before in a press conference. I got all the respect in the world for that guy because, he's a good fighter. I know what I have in front of me. He might be underestimating me a little bit, saying like all this hype and that, and he might be underestimating me. He wants to end my hype train. I don't believe I have a hype train behind me. I just believe in my own skill set, and that's one thing that keeps me pushing forward and knowing that I'm gonna go out there and perform. So for me, it's just more along the lines of like, man, I know what I have in front of me, and I respect it. There's like if he has the beef or if it's up to him, it's up to him, man. That's all on him. But me, I'm cool, calm, and collected either way until we step in that cage, and I'm going to go in there and put on a performance.
Hey, thank you, Adrian, and best of luck.
Thank you very much.
We'll go next to Nikita with Sport Express. Your line is open. Nikita, your line is open. We will instead go to Zach with UFC.com.
Okay. So like you said, 2020, 2021, what do you think? Man, I feel it's just going to be a representation of all the years and hard work that I put into this. 2020 was just a showcase. 2021 is just going to be me building. Uh, like man, I go back to this line that Benny the rapper Benny the Butcher said. You know, I go back to it every single time. He's like, last year was about branding. This one's about expanding. You know, that line stuck in my head. So literally, 2020 was about me branding myself, me putting myself in the position that I am today, and it to me, like, it's exactly what I did. I branded myself. I'm a UFC fighter. I went out there. I performed. Now it's time to expand on to expand, and I'm putting all the chips in my basket. So, man, like I'm ready to go. I'm ready to perform, especially with you know, like with myself, like full training camp. I've more confident than I've ever been, and I f- I feel really good heading into this performance. Where did you feel? Man, it was all both. It was both because like I knew whenever I had a full-time job, uh, I knew I wasn't getting enough training. I knew I wasn't having enough, so I always felt rushed. I always felt like stressed out. So it was like physically, I knew that I wasn't as ready as I should be, but I was ready for a fight, but I knew I wasn't as ready as I should be. And mentally, it was just stressful because like man, my job, like like I'd get out like at 5 o'clock or 5:30. Training would start at 6. I'd have to rush to uh, downtown Houston, which for me was a 45-minute drive. Depending on traffic, it'd be an hour drive. So I'd be like literally like tooth and nail, just barely getting there. And some days I'd be 15 minutes late. So man, for a lot of time it was real stressful. So it was both mental and physical. Uh, and then like you go out there, you're out working on like a hot day at work, man. You don't have enough energy to go train. So it's a lot that goes into it. So it's not just mental and physical. It's both mental and physical. So for me, it's like coming back from 2020 into 2021, man. It's like man, like I got this like full training camp. I was able to get enough rest. I was able to get enough training. Yeah. I was able to work on little things here and there. I was able to advance on my techniques. Man, I got my black belt like in December. So I was like, so everything has been working out for me. Especially like it's been working wonders. So to me, man, like like I said, going back to before, like a betting on myself has been the biggest thing for me. Oh man, it's for me, it's like living on a schedule, man. I have to have everything down on a schedule. Like now, it's like instead of going to work, having a schedule doing that, and then going like going straight there, like everything is scheduled out. I can now schedule in rest periods. I can now schedule in like when I need to go like get something checked out. Like now I can schedule like okay, well, I can run this day. I can run this day at this time. This day I can run this day at this time. So it's just a lot more scheduling, being more flexible in my training, and able to get a lot more rest, and then also too just being able to work on my mental like on those rest times because a lot of people can get burnt out. You have a hard training session, you go back, you're a little bit mentally exhausted. So it's good to sit back and be able to rest and just be able to like recoup and go back for another training session. So it's been all blessings for me, man. It's been the biggest blessing for me. Oh man, the expanding is keep on performing, put on spectacular performances every single time I go out there. Well, whether it's a KO submission or just the all round domination or just like making it look flawless like Floyd Mayweather. So that's exactly what I would want to do is every single time I go out there, and then on top of that, the better the fight, the better the knockouts, and like if I go out there and I have a go out there and have a war with Gustavo, or I stop him early, you know, depending on how that goes, that can build my brand and expand me. Like everybody's gonna be like, I want to watch that guy fight because he goes out there and he puts it all on the line, which I love to do. I love going out there and going blow to blow with the guy, but at the same time, I know myself. I want to get that knockout, and I'm going to get that knockout.